Alright folks, can everybody hear? That's us, we're going to be starting here now. I'm going to start off, Gael, I have a spike champion show on you. Go ahead, coach comrade here in show, and I guess Culturlann and Breton shows in Talbot. I'd like to thank everybody for coming here today, especially our comrades here from Catalonia, Brittany and Scotland. They're very welcome here in the Forest Road. Hope you can stay here. Also to get into what we're doing here, these sort of discussions now are incredibly important for Republicans across this country. We need to start looking at other movements, not only across Europe now, but across the world, and learn lessons from those movements that we can incorporate into our own struggle for national liberation here at home. But more so than that there, Europe's in chaos at the minute, and the entire balance of the EU, the entire EU is hanging in the balance. It's more important now that we start organising with left-wing parties across Europe in order to build a socialist Europe, a Europe where labour is at the centre of it rather than capital. And this discussion here is going to be very important towards those, and we hope to have much more of these in the roadworks. I'll introduce now our speakers here. We have Gael Roblin with Resist, which is the Breton Socialist Republican Party. We have Ignacy Bernat from CUP, which is a representative from the Culturlann leftist movement there as well. And as well Donald Anderson from the Scottish Social Republican movement. And also Ciarán Cunningham representing the Irish Republican Socialist Party here today. So without further ado, Gael, can I get you to start off?
Yes.
There we go.
So, my name is Gael Roblin. I'm coming from Brittany. I would like to apologize because I'm not able to speak as Gael. I know it's your national language and you have the right to make fun of my English accent. On behalf of our small delegation, I would like first to thank the Irish Republican Socialist Party and the Yes for Unity platform and thank them very warmly for this invitation. But also, I would like to salute all the components of the Irish Republican movement. Before to share with you a little experience about referendums and our vision, I want to remind you what Britain is. Maybe it's not so clear for you. Britain is a small nation of 4.5 million of inhabitants, and 200,000 of us still speak Celtic language daily, the Breton language, which is very close of Welsh or Cornish. We are with the Corsicans, the only historical nation, excluding overseas colonies, whose name is still present in the French administration. The French administrative division that cuts the states into regions, and if you look at the French map, you can search for the name of the Basque Country. The north of the Basque Country is supposed to be in France. There is no name of them on the map. You can search for comrades of la parte nord de Catalonia, and the north of the Catalan country is also in the French states. They don't have any administrative existence. You can look for the name of Alsace, they cut it. Flanders, they cut it. They have been erased by the French administration. This administrative region have no power and ridiculous budget that cannot answer the expectation of social justice of the working class. The logic of erasing the name of the stateless nation that make up the French state is also found in Brittany. That's why a part of our territory, I'll bring a map, a small map. This part is a part, maybe there is some soccer fan here. There is a famous team called Nantes. And this part of Brittany is not supposed to be in Brittany for France. And our first revendication, which is very popular, is for national integrity. Respect our national integrity, respect our name and our stateless nation. That's why a part of our territorial organization is attached to a region that does not have the name of Brittany. And this is despite the wish of the vast social majority of the population. The various French governments refuse to respect our territorial integrity. We have lost independence in 1488, a long time ago. And we've lost our broad autonomy in the aftermath of the French Revolution. The monarchy and the French republics have constantly repressed our national identity, our language, or different cultural specificities. You have to know that the second article of the French Constitution states that only the French language is the official language of the Republic. That means that actually in France, they still prohibit the use of the Breton language in official acts for certain first names. The high school students of the Old Breton school are not allowed to take their mathematics exams in Breton. And we are not allowed to speak Breton in court. That's some example. Forever, significant sectors of the Breton people have opposed in different ways the French assimilation policy, the division of Brittany, the absence of local democracy, the linguistic oppression, or projects like nuclear power station or unnecessary airports imposed by Paris or anti-workers project. But mainly, we have never been able to pronounce ourselves on the degree of sovereignty that we must exercise through a vote. I belong to an organization that defends the idea of a Breton Republic, a socialist one. The first objective we set to ourselves is to advance the idea of the right to self-determination for the Breton people. This is a basic concept into the socialist movement since the First International. To do this, we have initiated and participated with other democratic forces in 2015 in a platform called DBAB. That means choose in Britain, just choose your future. To organize votes from town to town, asking the citizens if they wanted a united Brittany and a Breton Assembly with vast competencies. More than 80% of the peoples who take part in this local referendum voted yes. We were inspired by the Catalans and the first vote organized at the municipal level for independence. And to me, that sounds very clear, very close of the work which is done by the Yes for Unity platform quarter by quarter, where they are canvassing, as you know, as you said, on the Irish Unity border poll. Since 2015, our reflection has progressed. We believe that we must continue to socialize the idea of the exercise of a referendum, but a self-organized referendum. This is a strong social demand in Brittany. More than 100,000 citizens of the Nantes area signed a petition in a legal framework to request the right to vote on the territorial unity of Brittany. Last night, the local French administration refused that. We have only one way. We have to self-organize if we want to exercise our right to self-determination. In this democratic front, which brings together other parties and part of a small part of the Breton society, a small organization is investing itself for various reasons. We want to allow young people to be a driving force of the popular mobilization for the referendum, because the last consultation in the French state on the constitutional framework dates from 1958. That means during the War of Liberation of Algeria. In my family, I think that only my grandmother took part. I am 45. In this framework of a democratic front for self-determination, we think that the socialist organization must be the most dynamic, because we have not to leave the debate of the national cause in the hand of our own nationalist-minded little bourgeoisie. Organizations such as organization can more easily make the link between national liberation, social liberation, internationalism. The idea of a self-organized referendum on the whole territory of Brittany will impose itself. Since a few months, we are occupying the street with protest. under this slogan. The last was in Nantes at the end of September with a strong delegation of the Irish Socialist Republican Party with 3,000 people. The next will be next week in Rennes, and comrade from Catalonia will come, but not you. Our reflection could have not progressed to put the right to self-determination, which includes the right to independence, on the political agenda of Brittany, if we had not taken into account the international context in Scotland and Catalonia in the last years. Organizations with grassroots in the working class here in Ireland must campaign for a referendum for the Irish unity, at least for a few reasons. And we came here to show our support to the Yes for Unity platform. The first reason is that the legitimate historical referendum to Irish Republican is a day late. But you have to take in consideration that for the vast majority of the militant revolutionaries in Europe, among the youth in the world, Irish movement, Irish Republican movement, and Irish Socialist movement is also and especially linked to the civil rights movement and its strong revolutionary potential. Campaigning today for a referendum in Ireland is continue the process you've started in 1969 in Belfast for basic rights. Basic rights. Voting is a basic right. The second reason is that the European construction accentuates the democratic deficit, the feeling of dispossession of the popular sovereignty. It's not only a feeling, it's a reality. If we campaign for a referendum in Brittany, in Ireland, in Catalonia, we have to go to meet the people, to make propaganda for a referendum and a self-organized referendum.